All right, and now we are recording. So, grammar. We're open to the second section of our language arts notebook. The second section will be for grammar. Every day we're going to start grammar with vocabulary, and that's kind of how we practice in 5th grade. We write down a term, we practice it, we talk about it, and that's kind of how we do our practice. I'm not going to have you sit there and do a grammar problem over and over and over again because that's boring. So I like it to be more of a discussion. So we are going to title the first page in our second section. We're going to title it Grammar Vocabulary. Grammar Vocabulary. Awesome. Now, today we're going to talk about something you all should have previous or background knowledge of. Something you use on a daily basis. Can anyone raise their hand and tell me what they think we're going to talk about in grammar today? What do you think, Eosius? Oh my gosh, yeah, we're talking about end punctuation. You got it. Awesome. So, show me on your hands, how many types of end punctuation are there? Show me on your hands. How many are there? Okay, I'm seeing 4s. I'm seeing 3s. Okay, let's think of it. Who can give me one? Who can give me one? Zoe? Exclamation point. When do we use an exclamation point? When do we use it?
If you're trying to express or exaggerate something. Like, oh my gosh, I'm so happy!
Yeah, if what Chanel just said were written, there would be a major exclamation point at the end of that. So, exclamation point.
Close the door.
Who has another form of end punctuation? Who has another form?
Period.
Jack L.
Apostrophe and comma.
Do those go at the end of a sentence, though? No, that's punctuation, but not end punctuation. Who has another end punctuation? Will?
Period.
A period. When do we use a period? Raise your hand. Raise your hand. When do we have a period? Elena, when do we use a period?
At the end of a statement.
At the end of a statement. Like right now, if I said, I love cats, and I said it just like that, or I love dogs, I would have a period. Who knows the third? The third one. Let's have Senna.
Question mark.
A question mark. Who can raise their hand and tell me when to use a question? Drew.
A question mark?
Yeah.
When you're curious about something and when you're wondering about something.
Yeah. If you're curious about something, you're wondering. Yeah. Can I have a hot dog? That's a question. That would end with a question mark. Yes, Addie?
Sometimes people do an exclamation mark and a question mark.
So I'm glad you brought that up because I want to talk about that. When you're like texting a friend, sometimes you do like question mark, exclamation point, question mark, exclamation point. In a text, fine. When you're writing in class, should we be doing that? No. If you're texting a friend, totally fine. But in class, there should just be one form of end punctuation at the end of each of your sentences.
What if you're really
Capiche?
exaggerating?
Then that's up to you to use that in your word choice in your sentence.
Wait.
Yeah? So, ready to rock?
Ready to roll.
We're going to get started with the period. Those are our 3. There aren't any other forms of end punctuation. There are other types of punctuation, but at the end of a sentence, those are our 3. A period, question mark, exclamation point. We're going to get started. So, the period. I should see you writing. Michael, I should see you writing.
There's a
I don't
period
write
like on
with
the side.
I know. That's a bullet. Well, then eat with your left hand and write with your right hand. Okay. We use a period. Or it's used. I'm going to use a different color. Look at blue.
I do basically everything with my
Used
hand.
at the end of a
Sentence.
There's types, though. A declarative or imperative. We're going to talk about what that means. At the end of a declarative or imperative sentence. I just want you guys to know those two words so that if you see it, you'll know what it means. We're going to talk about it. So declarative and imperative. I know right now you're like, what on earth, Miss E? That's okay. We're going to talk about it.
I'm pretty curious about those words. Question mark. Very
Or,
concerned.
Miss E, I wonder what those might be. Question mark.
Read at the end.
So, I kept hearing Drew saying statement. Declarative is the same as or equals a statement. Because if you think of it, you guys, when you declare something, you're stating something. It's the same thing. Like, I like pizza. I like pizza. I'm declaring something. I'm making a statement. Okay? You guys, I love your examples. We're going to get to examples here in a second. So voices off. You'll have a chance to make your own statements here in a little bit. Promise. So declarative equals a statement. An imperative. You can do whatever you want for it, Jack. An imperative is the same as a command. So, for example, if my parents, when I was younger, told me, wash the laundry, that is a command. So it's imperative. That's an imperative sentence. It's a command. So it ends with a period.
I remember learning about this.
A little bit.
When you said command, that's when it came to me.
Mm-hmm.
We learned this before.
Good, good. We're reviewing then. Awesome. Nice. So declarative is the same as a statement. An imperative is the same as a command. So I'm sure some of you have received commands from your parents to do like chores and do things around the house. It's a little more direct than a statement, as I'm sure you know. But there's a little difference between the two. But both of them we know use a period. Yes, Allison?
Would like if your parents were like, you go buy like a piece of cake for yourself and give you like a piece of would that be a command or a statement?
Depending on how they say
It depends on how they say it. Yep, exactly. Okay, are we ready to move on to the next one?
No.
Okay, I'll give you another moment. Our next one. And I'm going to go, actually we can probably do one more and it'll fit on the screen for our virtual learners. Our next one we're going to talk about is a question mark. I will tell you. Good question. So, we use a question mark at the end, or used at the end of an
Question.
yes, but there's a specific type of sentence.
Interrogation.
Interrogative.
Interrogative.
Interrogative sentence. So question mark used at the end of an interrogative sentence. Mm-hmm.
I got 50 years.
Who can raise their hand and tell me what word is interrogative really close to? Raise your hand. What is that really close to? Philip?
Interactive?
You're right. They both have inter there, but there's another word it's even closer to. What do you think? It's something that police officers do. Raise your hand. What do you think? What do you think? Addie?
Interrogate.
Interrogate or interrogation. Now, when you interrogate someone, what are you doing? You're
Asking them questions.
asking questions. So an interrogative sentence is a question. Okay? So A little star.
Stop that.
Interrogative.
Stop that. Jackson.
Is the same as a question. Alright, 5th grade, this is your last warning to stop the side chatter, otherwise you will be receiving checks. Thank you. Well, I promise you will have a chance to give examples here in a little bit. We just want to get these down in our notebook. So question mark we use at the end of an interrogative sentence. Interrogative is very close to interrogation. When you interrogate someone, you are questioning them. So in interrogative, that's a question. Max, we are taking grammar notes. So you can open up to the second section of your language arts notebook.
And snack.
Yeah, and grab your snack. Are we ready to move on to our third and final one?
No.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll give you another moment. Michael, when you jump up and down, it makes me not want to call on you, dude. I'll call on you after we're done with these.
He looks like a little guppy jumping up and down.
Get this written down. Are you done? Okay. All right, third one.
Ow.
Our last one, locker. Exclamation point. I know, I'm standing in front of it. Okay. You can see. Exclamation point. You can put that in your locker with your clipboard. So, exclamation point. What kind of sentence do you think this one's used at the end of? Emmy?
In a sentence where you're expressing stuff.
An sentence where you're expressing stuff. Chanel?
If you were like screaming, like, because someone surprised you or you were scared.
Yep, definitely. We call these exclamatory sentences. I know, I'll spell it for you. Used at, not quite, the end of an exclamatory sentence. Exclamatory sentence.
Exclamatory.
Do you notice how this is very similar to our exclamation point? Exclamation and exclamatory. Exclamation. Exclamatory.
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 Do we put the exclamation?
Yeah, you got it.
at the end?
Yep. So then, exclamatory.
Exclamatory. How about a new double?
Nice.
How about a new double?
Exclamatory is the same as expressing strong emotion.
Why couldn't it be described in one word like all the other ones?
I don't know. Because it's super long.
Like exaggeration.
So, exclamatory, expressing strong emotion. Exclamatory is the same as expressing strong emotion. Yes, Michael.
I have a question. So what happens if you use like a question mark and an exclamatory at the same time? So like you're saying something super loud, but then you're saying it as a question. Like,
That's great.
can I have one of those hot dogs?
Yeah, that's a great question. So, if you like shout a question, like if you're writing that someone shout a question, you would write it as a question, but then you know how authors will add like he yelled at the end of it, or he shouted. So you would use other words to describe the volume of the speaker's voice. Okay?
Exclamation point.
Ready to rock?
And a question mark.
Zoe.
I have a question mark.
Yeah.
What if like I'm talking to my dog and
Yeah.
I'm like, can you please give me my shoe? Like,
Yeah.
is it a demand or a question?
That would be a question because you're kind of being sweet about it. You know what I mean? The way you talk to a dog. Yeah. But also, ready to rock?
Ready to roll.
But that could also be similar to Michael's question, Zoe, because you could say, you know, can you please give me my shoe? She said in a demanding voice or something like that. So you would use additional words to describe how the question is being asked. Okay? Yeah, good question. All right, what I want you to do.
I would keep this up for Max.
I'm going to. Some of you are getting real close to earning yourselves a check. Thank you. Here's what you're going to do. Right now, I want you to think of one sentence where you would use a period at the end. Don't say it out loud. Think of it. So remember, that could either be a statement or a command. Think of one.
Can we share them?
We're going to, not yet. Put a thumbs up when you've got a statement or a command ready. Thumbs up when you've got a statement or a command ready.
Do we write it down? Where is it?
Nope, just in your head. Okay. Now, I want you to think of a question that you have. I'm going to have you guys get prepared with all three of them. Give a thumbs up when you've got your question ready. Through. Thank you. Next, I want you to have your exclamatory sentence ready. Give a thumbs up when you've got your exclamatory sentence ready.
I ran out of thumbs.
Voices up. Okay. So, when I say go, you will be turning and sharing your statement or command, your question, and your exclamatory sentence with the person next to you. Capiche? Go ahead. All right, who can raise their hand and share an example of a statement or a command where you would use a period at the end? Frankie. Your hand was raised.
Oh, I have a question.
I have a question. Yeah, that is a statement. Nice. Who else has one? Addie.
I love basketball.
Perfect. I love basketball. I'm repeating so that our virtual learners can hear it since we're recording. Zoe.
Mine is Zoe Christine Anderson. Go outside with your little brother now.
Nice. Is that a demand you hear sometimes? Nice. Chanel.
I love Panera Bread, bacon, mac and cheese with a grilled cheese sandwich.
Yes, definitely. Emmy.
Never mind.
Okay. Allison.
My favorite animal is a panda.
My favorite animal is a panda. Awesome. Raise your hand if you have a question that would end with a question mark. Philip.
Give me all your food now.
That's a demand. Could you phrase that into a question?
Can you give me all your food now?
Yes. I'm actually really happy you said that. So, if you didn't hear, Philip said, give me all your food now. That's definitely a demand or a command. And then I asked him, oh, can you make that into a sentence? Then suddenly it was, oh, can you give me all of your food now? So, yeah. Depending on how you say something shows what our end punctuation will be. Who has another question? Michael?
Do you guys want to play soccer outside?
Do you guys want to play soccer outside? All right. Mackenzie?
Do you play video games?
Do you play video games?
No.
Addie?
Did dance start already?
Did dance start already? Yes. Awesome. Zoe? McDonald's.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Actually, we can get McDonald's.
No.
Oh.
Will.
Will it be same and soccer?
Will it be same teams for soccer?
No.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, we will answer the questions later. Ready to rock.
Ready to roll.
Who has an exclamatory sentence to share with the class? With an exclamation point. Senna.
Give me a bird.
Give me a bird. Awesome. What else? Is there anyone I haven't?
Guys,
Is there anyone I haven't called on who has an exclamatory statement that ends with a exclamation point? Max?
I just lost it.
You had a really
I'll
good one, I
take it
could
for
tell. Okay, I'll give you some time to think. Elena.
Oh my gosh, we're burning alive.
Yeah, that would definitely use an exclamation point. But like in a book, you might see that. Yeah.
Wait, Elena, what did you say?
It's in a movie.
What can I add?
You should have been listening. Fifth grade. I would like to call on a few more people. Max?
Run!
Run! Yes, definitely. Mackenzie?
We have fire!
Yep, that definitely works. Chanel?
Oh my goodness, the pizza is burning!
Alright. One more. Let's have Drew.
Peekaboo!
Peekaboo. Awesome. Alright. What we're going to do next? I think we've got a pretty good grasp of these different types of sentences. You are going to open up in your EPB. That's what I call your yellow grammar workbook. So if one of my front people can pull that out so I can use it as an example. This is your EPB. So when I say like on your planner page you need your EPB, this is what I'm talking about.
How can we thought of the name EPB?
English practice book.
Wait, do we have homework?
You are going to open up to page 105. 105.
We're skipping a lot of pages.
Yep, we're going to kind of jump around. It'll be okay. 105.
Open right to it.
If you can hear me touch the top of your head. If you can hear me touch your shoulder. If you can hear me touch your elbow. You will be completing page 105 for homework tonight.